Good day, good morning, good afternoon, depending on when you're listening to it. My name is Pete Kane. We're on the Senior Living Podcast, and we have a special guest. I've been practicing with pronunciating her name, and I think I got it down. She's Italian. She's been to the Paris Olympics. Nobody on my podcast has ever. She's also been to the Greece Olympics. Greece, yeah, Greece.
Greece, yeah.
Yes. So, oh, good. There's Elizabeth. I can see you now. Okay. So, Consuelo works for Angel Companions, and we met and we had just a wonderful conversation because we were trying to really kind of understand why she's such a fantastic cook. And then we found out she's Italian. And then it was like, man, come on my podcast, please. This is going to my favorite Italian. She lives up in Baltimore. Made Italian food my whole life. My best friend, Mike Natali. So, Consuelo, introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and we'll get into the podcast.
Yes, my name is Consuelo Arlenghi, and I work for Angel Companion. Is a company of in-home care and is the largest private business in Georgia since 2007. I personally moved here in 2018 from Ireland, and I was living my life very happy. And then my son has a little accident, and my husband that works for a famous beverage company was away, and I was looking for help. I ended up discovering that my neighbor was running this company, and I loved them, and I started to work for them.
Wow, that's so cool because you always hear the story is, I tried their products and then I became an owner. It's like you're so committed or you're so love the service that you go a step further. So what was it that you really liked about Angel Companion that you decided to come out maybe of a comfortable lifestyle to work in a very competitive industry?
Yeah, first of all, I realized how important are this service for the community. Nobody never think that you will need it. We always think that we are strong and we can do everything. But, it happen in life moment where you need support, especially if your family is far, like in my case. And I realize in America, a lot of families, they're very, spread out.
Yes.
And so I thought, this is something very important. I would like to talk in the community about our service.
Mm-hmm.
And more I'm out there, and more I realize how important it is. And I can see from the face of the people, they say, "Oh, thank you for this information." So I'm glad about my job.
Yeah, what has been like as you started? What was a challenge for you since you believed in the company, but you hadn't been out working in the workforce? What was a challenge that you came up with that you could share with our listeners?
But sometimes I realize I'm trying to deal with the fact that some place maybe they don't allow to share information, to promote your service. But what I'm trying to make them understand, and is that more information people they have, the best service they can receive, right? Especially when it comes to elderly, they don't know how to navigate internet. Sometimes they get confused. I saw, for example, we participate to a Cobb Senior Fair, and we had a lot of elderly in their 80. They were taking our brochure. These are medical buildings and doctor's office, and they say thank you because they are looking for help. They are a little bit lost sometimes. So I would like to see more participation and collaboration about this.
Yeah, we don't know what we don't know. And I just had on my podcast earlier, Chet Beasley, who teaches seniors technology and helps them understand things like the email, QR codes,
Yeah.
different things that we have, because not you, but I'm speaking myself, didn't grow up with the technology. And
Mhm.
so we're trying to play catch up. And I know the building I live in, which is Overture, the average age is 80. So the
Yeah.
technology part and the skills that independent living possess is you have to figure it out yourself or you have to hire somebody. So
Exactly.
what happens? So in your marketing role or your role with Angel Companion,
Yes.
what has been like? Are you out meeting? Because I think I remember. Would your brochures have been at a PT office? Is that something that you make they're good referral partners for you?
So most of the people they found the information and they call us, and we receive sometimes interesting call like, "Oh, God put your brochure in my hands today," because people are desperate for help.
Yes.
And this is the way usually they reach us. And of course, we have collaboration with, for example, plastic surgery place. People need transportation, and someone they stay with them and bring them home. We can offer also this kind of service to them.
Hmm.
And urology, we work a lot with urologists, where everybody, a lot of place people they are a little bit lonely, and they don't know how to reach place. They need all the full service, right?
Yes. So, what's the most popular service that y'all offer in the marketplace? What are people requesting the most?
Most of the service, of course, is with the elderly and in-home care. For example, during the holiday, sometimes you have your mom living with you and you cannot take her on vacation. So this is where we can step in and stay with them in the house and be sure that, they are safe. Safe, of course, safety is our first priority. And be sure that they take their medicine and they have their healthy meals. We can collaborate with that too, until you come home. And then, of course, we have more serious illness where we make shift 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or as much as you need. There are sometimes I speak with people and they told me, oh, I'm busy during the day. I can stay with my mom in the night, but if you can, someone can stay with her during the day, or the contrary, right?
Mhm.
So unfortunately, it's not easy. Every case is unique,
Yeah,
because family are different, the needs are different. What I like a lot about Angel Companion, and I found a lot of compassion, and this is the most important. Is the first rule in this field. If you don't have that, you cannot offer the best care for
yeah,
your patient, right?
absolutely. Let's go back to your Paris experience. So, was when your husband had asked you about going to Paris, what was your reaction? Like, did he surprise you? What was that like?
Yeah, it was a nice. I heard that maybe was in the air, and then the offer arrived, and it was like a little honeymoon. Just
Oh,
me and
wow.
my husband without children in
Yeah,
Paris. I think it's the most romantic city in the
I
world, right?
know. That's like crazy. So what when it did come to fruition and like tell our viewers like your excitement level because going to Paris, the
Oh yeah.
city, I only know from friends. So what did you enjoy the most and what were
Yes.
you looking forward to seeing after you knew you were going?
Yeah, so I've been in Paris many years ago, but I was with my little toddler, so we couldn't do very much, honestly. And this time I went back, it was for a super different event, of course. What I really enjoy about what the French they did, they transform classical venue in sportive venue. I think this was very special. Like we were walking and on the Champs-Élysées, and you see this beautiful classical palace, and then you hear, yeah, all the sportive enthusiasts, like the contrast was like, wow, what's going on there? you know? It looked like a dance ball, but no, they were doing some, fans and other sportive. So this was unique because most of the country they build sportive facilities, but I think the French they convert what they had, and this is why it made them special. I think
Yeah. How many days were you over there?
not much, 5 days. Yes,
Wow, that's so good. I mean,
yeah,
when I heard that you'd went to Paris, I'm going, dang, the Olympics are over there now. Because
yeah. And
I
we
was
saw
like,
the beach
wait a
volley.
minute, wait a minute, she's going to the Olympics. So yeah, which venues did you have a chance to
So
see?
I've been to the Roland Garros and the main court, the famous court, and I realized there is a beautiful statue of Nadal there because Nadal won a lot of Roland Garros
Hmm.
competition, of course. And then we went to see the beach volley, and that the field was at the feet of the Eiffel Tower. So you are there watching and put your head up and you see Eiffel Towers, and it's very special.
Dang. So if you had to compare it to Greece,
Mm.
what would you say was your difference? Were you about the same age? Like tell our viewers going to two different Olympics, what was the difference in your mind between the two?
Well,
Besides,
I have to say the Greeks, they were very proud to have the Olympics in their place. And I was lucky enough to be there when a Greek woman won a race. So all the stadium were mad completely. Unfortunately, when I was there, at least the event I saw, the French they lost with United States. So
oh, yes,
I was in the United States part, so it was fun
uh,
for us, a little bit less for the
yes.
French, but
What do you think? What the difference in the food? What can you share with our viewers? Did you feel like for your taste buds and enjoying
yeah.
both of them?
I
What
love Greek food, but champagne is my favorite drink. So
okay. Well, we
nothing
want
can go bad in a day if you have champagne
yeah.
for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Mm-mm. And it's cheap there, champagne. I
Oh,
realize.
really?
Yeah, yeah, it's like it's 20, 25 euros for a bottle, while here is 50, 60. So
Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
Were you able to like? Did you feel like the crowds were any different between the two, or?
My experience was even because I worked a lot in the city, so it was special to see all these flags from different country and hearing different languages, and everything was spread at the same time, contained, so you can approach people. Actually, I spoke with a Greek group, and I showed to them my Olympic game watch that I took it in Greece 20 years ago. They were very, very happy.
Wow.
Yes.
So were you, I know your husband works for a bigger company. Was it the same type of arrangement in Greece, or was this a separate personal thing?
No, this time was a little bit upgraded, let's say, because in
Oh,
20
yeah.
years my husband made some career. So
Oh, yes. Hey, look, you keep cheering him on because a lot of
yeah, I keep him. I keep him. It's good.
yes. Well, I know he hasn't have a chance because when you talk about Italian food, there isn't a guy out there that I know that doesn't love Italian food. So you have him through not his heart as much as you have him through his stomach. Because I
Yeah.
mean that I tell you, I to this day, my
Mhm.
friends, when we got a big plate of lasagna from my friend's mom, this was back probably 20 years ago.
Mhm.
And I told my daughters, I said, cherish every bite because this don't you eat it too fast because enjoy it. This is this is like filet mignon on steroids.
Yeah, we
It's
put a lot of care, a lot of love in
yes.
our cooking. Yeah,
Oh,
and I
there's
try to do the same with my job when I speak with the people to transmit this.
yeah, that kind of it seeps into who you are because of how you grow up and the way you do things. You end up taking that into the workforce.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel like that when you're out there
Hmm.
and you're working with your the I guess the referral partners and all? What 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 do they say when I know we talked a little bit before, but you have a beautiful accent. So
Yeah.
do they immediately like my friends from Barcelona, and the first question people ask is, "Where are you from?" So,
Yeah, they sometimes they really, oh, they stop me also for my outfit because apparently they like my always make comment about my dress, my shoes. And so when I
oh,
start to talk with them, they say, oh, but I love your accent. Where are you from? So, I'm
yeah,
Italian. So, ah, so in some way makes sense then. Everything.
yes,
I
yes,
think I look a little bit exotic here. Apparently there are not many
yeah,
Italians.
yeah. Now, did you grow up in
Yes.
Italy?
Born
Okay.
and raised until 2004. Yeah, I was in my
What?
30 when I left Italy. Yes. And I was not speaking English actually. So I learned everything on the road, how you say.
Yeah. How was it? Because my friend talks about this is thinking in English. Like he's from Barcelona and speaks obviously Spanish, and but it was he came over here on a golf scholarship and didn't know a lick of English, and he's really good now. But he said that those first couple years of thinking in another
Oh,
language, how did that affect you? Like, talk
yeah.
about that.
So at the beginning, I remember I had headaches. Every time my husband was telling me, oh, we go out with my colleagues. And so, oh my God, I had headaches when I was coming home because I was really making an effort, try to build my English sentence, translate it from Italy. And this is the common mistake that at the beginning people we make, like we translate from our language in another one.
Yeah.
And but sometimes fun situation they come out from that. So and little by little, now I'm forgetting my Italian. I have the contrary problem.
Yeah.
My
So,
mom, she keep telling me, hey, don't you remember the word in Italian?
oh, really? So,
Yes,
yeah,
sometimes,
I
yes.
guess over time, if you're not speaking, you kind of lose your edge in Italian
No,
because
I
you're
speak
older.
every day in Italian. I call my mom every day,
Do
every
you
morning.
really? Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
I'm
so
the
good.
only child, so I have to, right?
Oh my gosh, what on earth? Your husband must be quite the romantic to take an only child from Italy and come over here to America. What did he do to court you?
Is a handsome Italian man, of course.
Oh, okay. So he's Italian too.
Of course, I think I'm in Italian. Yeah.
Oh, good. That's so good. So he's spoiled with your cooking. And
Yeah.
he's used okay. So that how what was your first date like? What was his
First day we went out for a gelato.
oh yes.
Very simple, very simple.
Yes.
The second date was pizza and tiramisu, so classical.
Dang, that's right. Those are three
Yeah.
that I love. So you're 3 for 3. What was the fourth one?
Yeah, and then from there we were love, and then we start
Yeah.
to get out every day. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's so cool. How was he when, so you're, I guess, raising and being at home. How many, you said mentioned about your kids. Do you have, how old are your kids?
So my kids are my daughter now, she's 19, and my boy is 17. He's a junior. Yeah. And they reach that age and they don't want mom around. So this is
Yes.
another reason I say I have to go back to work, right?
Yes. And for a lot, like I was just talking to another lady, this was at the senior
Mhm.
resource fair, and she had 3 girls, and now she's back in the workforce. Just making that leap because you're raising a family, you're raising your daughter, your son. All of a sudden, you're going into the workforce. Were you hesitant or were you excited? What was that first like reaction after in the workforce, having been at home raising your kids.
Yeah, for me it was even more challenge because it's in a different country. So I worked in Italy, of course. I was working in the same company of my husband,
Oh,
and but I was very happy to be out, and I learned so much through this job. About location, about the people, about the American mentality. That of course is different than where I grew up. So I'm very glad about that. The biggest challenge was driving, because I drive a lot.
okay.
And I was not used to all this lane on the highway and everything. So
Yes.
exactly, but
Do
I
you have?
love meeting new people.
Oh my gosh, you talk about Atlanta traffic. Was
Yeah.
that a shock? Because I don't usually go out in the traffic, but last couple times, like the last month, I've been out, which was used to be very little traffic. Now 5 o'clock traffic is all the time. Did you have that challenge back in Italy? Were you in a bigger city you kind of got used to, big city traffic?
I start to drive in my 30 actually. So because in Europe you can live in using public transport, right? Cars
Okay.
are not so essential. So I started to drive only my last leg in Italy, and then I left. But so I was used to 2-3 lane maximum, and the Howard Highway is only 2 lanes, so one for slow and one for quick. That's it. So from two to almost six.
Wow. Do you think that are there any really differences? Like, would angel companions be over in Italy? Is it your healthcare system? Is
Oh,
there
it's
any?
very different. I'm telling you, my dad was sick last year and unfortunately passed away. So I moved to Italy when he was still sick to help my mom.
Yeah,
It was a terminal cancer here. So, and when I was there, I was looking for help. And there was nothing like angel companion there. The people that still rely on a neighbor that can come some hours.
oh, really?
And it was difficult because I had to change, three three people, because it's not easy to find the right person to take care of your
Yeah.
loved one. So I think it's very good to have this kind of company, also because all our caregivers are our employees, so we do background checks, so you
Mhm.
can trust the process. And when you take someone in your house, you want to be sure that you can trust that person.
Yes.
So I was unfortunately there is nothing like this. It's starting now. Someone is starting to consider it, right?
Yeah.
But people they rely more on friend, on family's member, something like
Yeah,
this.
that's common. I've heard, I have a friend from Taiwan, and he was telling me that there's nothing like here. Actually, his dad, who was going through cancer treatment,
Yeah,
the amount of money that he was paying over there was substantial, and there was no like subsidy or whatever, and it was like
exactly. That's the problem. For example, I hired a woman that she started to come, and then she broke her arm, and she said to me, I cannot come today. I said, what I do, I need help. I need to move him.
yeah,
And there was no backup. Why? If you go through an agency, they always guarantee someone come to your house and take care of your loved one. So
yeah.
it's absolutely better, right?
Well, that's awesome. Now, what I want you to do, let me see if yes, let me do this. I want our viewers to know how can they get a hold of you. So, Consuelo, would you share your phone number and with our viewers so they can get a hold of you?
Yes. So my mobile is 404 But I think the most important number is the one on our, how is here, our brochure that is here. So it's
Okay,
770 five
okay,
seven nine 5000.
okay.
Yeah.
So
And
I want
What
That's
I like, sorry, it's very important. There is always someone that pick up the phone. There is no this answer machine that I hate.
yeah. Well, that's really good. Now I tell you what I can do real quick. I didn't even think of it. I'm gonna put that number up on the screen. We'll leave it for just a little bit. Okay, that number for the office is again what number? 678.
Is 770-579-5000.
Let's see how good I am at repeating. Yeah, I think so. Here we go. Oops. There we go. 770-579-5000. So
Exactly, 5,000. Good.
you might want to call that number because Consuelo might be cooking if it's 5 o'clock. So don't interrupt her while she's cooking her Italian food because there are people that want. Oh no, holy mackerel. That's the wrong number. That was my last guess. Holy mackerel, I put it under the wrong one.
I don't see the screen.
Yes, okay.
On my glass.
Crazy. How do I do that? Let me do this. I want to do it right here. You're going to do it right. Because you know what can happen? Maybe someday I'm going to be able to try your Italian food.
Oh, I know. That would be happy.
I want to be able to tell my friend that she's got my friend's mom that she has competition.
Oh yeah.
I
like challenge.
Restaurant that even comes close.
Home food is always better. Always.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing because I go to Provino's, which is right around here, and as good as Provino's is, nothing compared to homemade.
Yeah, it's fresh, right?
fresh is so good. So that number, just for our audio listeners, if you're driving, 770-579-5000. That's Angel Companion.
Angel Companion, right?
Yes. And Consuelo, that number, we'll just put it up there. You've already given that. So I want to thank you, but I also want you to leave our listeners. What would you want, one thing that our listeners can take home from our time on this podcast?
Always looking for help when you need. Don't wait too long because that can be more difficult.
Yes.
It always works. Someone beside you, taking care of the basic of being a human being. That's very important.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Consuelo. We appreciate you being on our show.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Look, I'm sending this to my friend, and Mrs. Natali, this is for you. So I'll see her. We're staying at her place next week because she's not able to go to Myrtle Beach. She has a place in Baltimore and Myrtle Beach. So I'm meeting her son and a friend in Myrtle Beach. So I'll be within the Italian environment. Maybe in the freezer there'll be some lasagna.
You will be happy, I'm sure. And I hope to see you around in some other event.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you, Pete. Bye.
Bye now.
See you. Bye. Bye.